So the 240 is finally empty, and it's been a bit of a bittersweet really. The discus that had been sat in there, it was a temporary home. We had 4 in there, 2 were a pair that were just waiting to go to their forever homes. Unfortunately, majority of issues, or the main issues that come with discus, had 2 in there. 1 had bloat and another one had gone off as food. But the painful bit is obviously I was sat in front of this tank, I was doing YouTube videos or doing videos for you to view, telling you how to be a great fish keeper. Well, obviously I had fish in there that were far too big for a 240 litre tank, and obviously 2 that weren't doing too well also. But the biggest problem that I had is once the tank finally became empty and the last fish was hooked out, I just didn't know what I wanted to do with the tank itself. One of the main issues is the tank itself is quite small in comparison to the other tanks that we're going to have set up in the room. So was it just going to disappear into the background? Did I want to go for a planted tank? Did I want to do a high-tech planted tank? It's something I've not done for a while. Even with that aside, what stocking was I going to do? Was it going to be a community tank? But then I started to think about the size, and you're going to be quite limited on what you can have in there. Now, in the middle of while I was thinking and debating what I was going to do with the tank itself, I was in a local fish shop a couple of weeks ago, and the decision pretty much fell onto my lap, and it's going to be a little bit different. And again, it's something I haven't done in a long time, and I'm going to be taking in some fish that need some work and a bit of TLC, and it's a bit of a rescue job and recovery job. Now, if you follow us on social media, Facebook or Instagram, you may already know what's going to be going into this tank. If you don't already, I'll leave the descriptions, or I'll leave the links in the description, below. If you're not following us already, head over there, give us a like and give us a follow. But it's pretty much been decided what's going in here now. But the biggest problem that I've got is the tank is completely unsuitable. It needs to be fully rescaped. I also need to get the tank moved because the 1,000 litre that's currently in the sitting room is going to be coming in here, as I've got plans in the tank room for the 1,000 litre. So what I pretty much need to do tonight, and it's already pretty late because I need to go and pick the fish up tomorrow. Basically, I had plenty of time to get everything sorted. Had a message yesterday, Ben, you need to come and pick these fish up on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, which now means I've got some work to do this evening. So like I said, I need to get this completely drained. I need to move it. It's pretty much empty. There's a few cories still kicking around there, but they're going to be coming out tomorrow. They're going to be hooked out this evening while I do everything. But what I now need to do, and I'm going to show you, is the tank now needs to be moved to there. Hopefully you can see, brighten up a little bit. It's 8 o'clock now. I need to pick these fish up tomorrow, and I need to get everything done as quickly as possible. I need to drain the tank down, I need to get the new scape in, I need to get it into position here so it's ready and the fish are ready to go in tomorrow morning. And there you go. Just like that, it was done. 9:15, so it's taken me about an hour. I am sweating, I'm hot. So what we're gonna do now, obviously start to get it scaped. I'm gonna fill it up 50% so you can kind of see what it looks like once everything starts to submerge, and obviously so you can see what it looks like underwater. The only issue I've got with this tank is it's only 6mm glass, so you have to kind of be careful of how much weight that you're putting on the glass and on the base itself. So the idea, I'm gonna show you what idea I've got for the scape, the rock, and obviously everything else that's gonna help fill the tank up without putting too much pressure on the base of the glass itself. So we'll start getting it scaped, fill her up, get it warmed up so it's ready for tomorrow. Right, so we're filled up about 50% of the way, just enough so like I said we can start to put the scape in and we can start to see how it looks once it's submerged and underwater. One bit of rock that I've wanted to work with for ages is pagoda rock, and this stuff is absolutely beautiful. From the texture, the colours, you've got different browns on there, dark, light browns, beiges as well. What you've got is when it's been split, you get this lovely texture and lines. Now, like I said, the only problem is this stuff weighs an absolute ton. The second biggest problem is, like in most stores, aquatic stores, is you're charged per kilo. So this stuff, unfortunately, isn't the cheapest out there that you can get. I saw this, I've seen a couple of scapes of this on the likes of Instagram. I've wanted to work with this rock for ages, so we're gonna be doing a hardscape. We'll start getting it in and see how it looks. Like I was saying, the biggest problem, again going back to the base of the glass, is because it's only 6mm, the strength, if it was 8mm it'd be completely different. Now the problem again, because of the weight of the rock, filling the tank up, obviously it still looks empty around here. and there's only 50% water in there at the moment, so by the time it's full, we're gonna have this big open space. Obviously, I didn't want to put any more weight on the base of the tank, so what I've decided to go for, and we're gonna do it a little bit differently, is some spider wood. But like I said, we're gonna do it a little bit different. Instead of it going base, again, placed on the sand bed or the base of the tank, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hang it from the top instead. So that will hang there. That will hang in there, like that. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna glue these into place. So what we're now doing is, like I said, because we can't put too much weight in, can't fill the tank up with rock, we're gonna hang the spider wood from the top, fully scaping and filling the tank up. There's not going to be any plants going into this scape, and then you'll see why when you see what fish go into it. The plants, one, it's going to be brackish water anyway, or it's going to become brackish water eventually. There's only 3 or 4 different plants that will survive, so the only other issue that may be if it's not the brackish water that kills the plants off, the fish, sometimes they get a little bit peckish and they may not last anyway. So they're absolutely comfortable and happy in a hardscape, but let's get her filled up, fill up the rest of the way so we can see what it actually looks like. There you go, done. Been what? What's the time now? 20 to 11. So, not the longest of evenings, but it's been some hard work. I'm absolutely soaked in sweat. I need a shower. But no, I like it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. You know, it's been nice for me, because like I said before, I've scaped so many customers' tanks over the years, always scaping for other people. And what I've always done is kept my tank nice and basic and simple, because by the time you've been out working on other people's tanks all day, sometimes you get home and you're sick of the sight of your tank. So I've always kept mine basic, simple, easy to clean, easy to maintain. I think that looks absolutely beautiful. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I'll give you a closer look. It's gonna be absolutely perfect for what's going in. Just the detail on the rock is incredible. Now I think for me, the only problem is, and the only thing that lets it down, is the light. Now the light is the standard light that comes with the fluval tank. You know, the LEDs aren't great, the power rating's not great, and there's not a lot of spectrum on it either. I think that's pretty much the only thing that lets it down. It's just taking away a lot of the definition and bringing out the colour. Actually, I'll tell you what, wait there. I've got these bad boys sitting on the old marine tank not being used at the moment. Kessel A360X's. Now they are the tuna blues, but these are my babies. Let's pop these on, have a look, shall we? Tell you what, how's that look? Changes now as you go through the tank, sort of darker down one end, more shadows, a little bit brighter. And it's really sort of bringing out the texture in the rock. Play around with the settings, get it perfect. Like I said, these are marine lights, so they're more pushed towards the sort of strong whites, strong blues. But you can amp the greens up, amp the reds up. So that's it, done. From pretty much about 8:15 I started, and it's now what, 10:45. Tank moved, everything stripped down, tank emptied, rescaped, everything back in. Done the filter, the cory, they're just in a sort of temporary bucket with heater and a sponge filter on there, be okay. So tomorrow, we're pretty much going to the fish store tomorrow 9 AM. So, till tomorrow, it's new fish day. Collected and ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start getting these in, start getting them acclimatized, and then once they're ready, the acclimatization is going to be over sort of 45 minutes to an hour. But once they're ready and once they're in, what I'll do is I'll bring you back and you can see what's going in the new tank. They are dying to come out. So let's lift them out. I'm hoping the camera's going to catch them as they go in. Go on, buddy, out you come. So we have got green spotted puffers. One, straight in, having a look around. Don't know if you guys can see that, hopefully it's focused in. I think it's pretty much swam off anyway, but I'll get you a close up. Pretty easy to net as well, which is nice. Number 2, go on buddy, out you come. Other way, you swim the wrong way. Another way, turn round. Other way, turn round. No, he's just trying to swim one direction, which is the wrong direction. Go on. 2, number 3. There you go, straight out. All that hard work for you 3 little guys. So we've got number 1. These lights are on about 30% acclimatization at the moment, just to let them settle in. So it's only running at about 30% of the full strength. Oh mate, come say hello. So what I'll do is I'll let these guys settle in, give them a couple days, let them get used to the new environment. As I said in the store, they were just up against the glass. Every time you approach the glass, they're so full of personality. Pretty much disappearing now into the background. I'll go hide for a little bit. Absolutely stunning fish. Have a little swim around, have a little snoop around the new environment, new tank. They've been living together quite a while, so they should get on okay to begin with. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, give them a couple of days, let them settle in, let them get used to the tank, let the brightness of the tank ramp up. After the acclimatization is finished, and I can give you a rundown. So 4 days later and a haircut, these guys are doing absolutely brilliant. Now the only problem is they're probably doing too good, and I'll explain why. One of the puffers, as we knew this was a bit of a rescue mission, one of the puffers needed to have his teeth done. The 3 puffers in general weren't looking great and they weren't in the best of conditions. So we were taking these fish in to rescue them and try and revive them, bring them back around and bring them back to full health. One of them in particular has got really long teeth to the point he can't close his mouth at all. Now with puffers, what that usually means is because they can't close their mouth because of their teeth, they won't consume or they won't eat food and they just spit it back out again. But all 3 of them are eating absolutely brilliant. Now to try and put some weight on them, feed them twice a day at the moment, and they're being fed better than my own children. They're getting nice raw live food, they're getting nice tropical mix. They've just had some river shrimp put in. Again, they've had cockles, again fresh cockles, not the frozen ones that you get from the fish store. But they are eating perfectly well, but 2 of them, one is still very withdrawn, and the other one, the one that's got the large big teeth, where he needs his teeth clipping, he is pretty much, he's got no weight on him at all. You can see his structural skeleton, he's really withdrawn. So for them to be eating as they are is probably, or more than likely, a clear indication of either a parasite or a worm. Now puffers are renowned for being prone to worms. It's something that happens so common and so often with these fish. So I was going to treat for worms anyway. Obviously I've got no history on these guys. I don't know if they were treated before for worms, if they maybe had the first round of treatment and not the second. So they were going to be treated anyway. Problem is with worm treatment is it's a very, very stressful treatment, and these guys are very sensitive fish. So it's not a treatment you always want to do. You don't want to do it really monthly. I always recommend you only treat for worms when you see worms, because you could say treat a tank that's perfectly healthy, and because the treatment is so stressful, it will then raise the stress of the fish, drop the immune system, and even though you were treating for worms, you then may be creating other problems or sickness in the tank. So we've got some boxes to tick with these guys. Like I said, it was a rescue mission. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we knew these guys weren't in great shape, they weren't in great health. But I'm looking forward to the challenge. You know, like I said, we've got to get these guys treated. We've got to be really careful with that because of the strength of the treatment and how sensitive these guys are. They're eating really well, so that's not so much of an issue. It's not that any of them are off their food or not eating. They're getting along really well. I always spread the food across the tank, so they've all got their own sort of areas to go and dig in. Obviously we've got the one with the very large and overgrown teeth. They need to be clipped. Now it was going to be a matter of urgency, but he is eating, and I'm quite surprised actually. As soon as their mouths start to get stuck open, they tend not to eat very well or eat at all, but he's consuming food absolutely fine. So I'm happy to give it a week, build his strength up a little bit. Like I said, I'm not overfeeding, but I'm feeding these guys twice a day at the moment, when they could probably be down to once a day or day on, day off. So we need to get his teeth done as soon as possible, but I'm happy to leave it for at least a week. The other one in there, again, he's very well built. He's got plenty of weight on him, but his teeth are borderline of needing to be trimmed also. But what I'm making sure is we're getting plenty of shelled food in there to grind his teeth on. And when I'm feeding any of the sort of defrosted frozen food, I'm making sure there's plenty on the rocks. So again, when they're picking at the food, they're going to grind their teeth on the the rocks themselves. The tank and the water itself, it needs to be switched over to brackish water. The plan was originally, I didn't have to pick the fish up straight away, so the tank was going to be switched over to brackish, set it all up, get it running, then just for a week or two I can just keep an eye on the cycle, make sure it's stable, make sure there's no mini crashes, and then bring the fish home and acclimatise them to brackish water. Obviously that wasn't the case. We had to go and get the fish, we had to get them immediately, so they've gone into fresh water as that's what they were in originally, what they're used to. But what I'm doing instead now is, because it's an open top tank, the water is evaporated. So what I'm doing is replenishing that water with an auto top up, but I'm replenishing it with natural seawater. So what that would do, it will slowly change the water from fresh water over to brackish, but most importantly, touch wood, it will acclimatise the beneficial bacteria slowly enough so it won't die off, and it will change over and be happily settled in brackish water with a salinity level. It will raise up about 0.001 a week. That's absolutely fine. Like I said, I'm filling it, I'm topping it up with natural seawater that's filtered and treated natural seawater from a company called Natural Seawater. So again, it will slowly acclimatise these guys to brackish water, which is what they need to be in, but also, like I said, acclimatise the beneficial bacteria so it can slowly change over. If I were to just change it over, the shock from the salinity would just kill off the bacteria. Now, yes, I do have cycled media from a saltwater tank that I could put in, you know, but like I said, it's been a nice, slow, comfortable acclimatisation for both the fish, the puffers, and the beneficial bacteria itself. So hopefully these guys, they do well, and every few months and come out and give you an update on the tank, and we can, like I said, we can get them, like these guys, they're about 1 inch at the moment. They should be growing sort of top end size, sort of 5 to 6 inches. They've got a lot of work, or I've got a lot of work to do on them first of all to get them in, but the tank's perfect, the scape's perfect, the tank size is perfect for the 3 of them, and they're doing really well. So yeah, so the tick list over the next few weeks to jump on straight away is getting the teeth clipped down and getting the worming done. Get these guys obviously on a nice variety of food, get some weight put back on them. Like I was saying before, they're eating really well, and you've got one that's quite withdrawn and then obviously one that's just completely got no weight on him at all. So I think the treatment for worms and parasites is going to be quite essential, so hopefully we can pull him back. Switching the water over to brackish, and then like I said, these guys, they're pretty comfortable here. Hopefully you guys enjoy the setup, the scope. I think it looks really nice. It's like the water's settled down now. Managed to get the lighting right. Like I said, it's still on acclimatization. It's up to about 55% now of what the actual full brightness is going to be, but they're doing absolutely brilliant. Let's give them some names. Leave me some comments. We got 3 of them. Leave me some comments below on what we should name them. Now, I'm a Liverpool fan. I wanted to call the bucktooth one Luis Suarez because I think it fits really well, but then obviously I'm going to cut his teeth and he's not going to look like Luis Suarez anymore. But yeah, leave me some comments below. What should we name them? We got 3 of them. I don't know if they're male or female. Puffers are pretty hard to sex anyway. We can do generic names. I'm not too fussed if we're going to do male or female names, but yeah, let's give them some names. Leave me some comments, get involved. The wife's not happy. She wanted to name them, but I said it's down to you guys to put some names on it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. So like I said, let me know down below what you think of the scape, the setup. It's been some hard work. It's been a difficult few days. It's like 32 degrees outside at the moment, so this fish room is like 26, 27 degrees. So I'm just absolutely sweating all the time. Hopefully you guys like the scape. Let me know below if you want to know what's in there. Just pop me a comment, ask anything that's been done, and then like I said, I'll keep you guys updated and posted on how these guys are doing. Every time we're doing a fish room update, you can check in. Hopefully when we're talking about this tank in 6 months time, all 3 of them are still there. But yeah, what a random thing to happen. I was looking to get rid of the tank, and now I've ended up with 3 green spotted puffers that aren't really doing very well, but we'll be alright, we're getting there. Guys, thanks for watching. If you really enjoyed the video, I want you to stay catching up on the progress. I am going to do a video when I cut the puffer's teeth. I am going to do the video and record it, so again, it's something a little bit different, but if you want to watch it, tune in on that, hit the subscribe button so you know when it comes out, and I'll keep you updated on these guys. See you later.